Well, I've set this up a couple of times and I've gone over it a couple of times, but I'm intermittent. We have we have track power, but we don't have any engine power, and we go to idle. And I know that's idle because when I unplug the idle circuit, the fan stops, okay? So that's cool. Now, when I apply power, now you heard the thing hit and all that, okay? Now, I've got track power, and I'm on my button over here. I just pulled it out of power. So track power is on. The fan's pretty full. So I'm going to let go of one and go to two, which is supposed to be a brake. Now, I let go, and then you see it in pulse, and you hear it moan, and the engine slows down, so current's being pulled somewhere, but it's not near enough for a brake. So, not sure. And then when the motor's not running, we go back to the idle. So we had a brake, and now we don't. And I don't know. All I did was move the circuits up and open them up a little bit so I could see them better, in hopes that this piece here would get repaired, because this is the brake part. What we've added to the brake part is a 100K resistor here and a cap here and some other stuff down here. But I don't see how that functions against coming up here. Oops, sorry. Coming up here, we've got diode that blocks here. So anything he does comes up here and goes around and goes to pin 4. So that should be forcing pin 4 to a brake mode somehow, and all this other stuff is just turning on the relay, which it seems to do. But there's a ground, and then maybe it's supposed to send power to the ground that neutralizes it when it's in position 4. I don't have a handle on what the circuit's trying to do. I just know that I've got it inserted. I've changed the resistors. We've changed resistors. We've changed, added some parts. I've put in another 122. Oh dear, I just saw something. This 122 up here has melted off its mounts. I knew it was hot earlier. It has smoked. It is smoked. It is melted. Can you see that? It was supposed to sit up on those 3 pins, and it's melted down and fallen. And it might be even shorted. Okay, shut this off. Yeah, well, I'll have to. You might notice there's some blue insulation on that green wire, and over here there's some blue insulation on that black wire. We had a little falling out over here on a particular ground wire that I thought I needed, and obviously that was a mistake. So I may have fried that part. All right, so it looks like I'm going to have to make another 122. Holy cow, I've got 3 in here now, and I only have 2 left, so next time I order them, I'm not getting surface mount, I'll tell you that. So what we have is we have idle, we have puff, and we don't have the brake. We had the brake, now we don't. So I got to go back over the circuit and see. I've moved these things around, trying to give me more airspace, but grouping them according to the schematic so I can do the checkout in my brain. How's it wired? Is it doing everything right and all that? Thought I was clean. Apparently not. Or I had damage and was playing with a bad chip, and that's part of the deal. I don't know. Oh, this is just almost fun, but it's not. And my problem is, I'll give you a teaser. My problem is, they show this. Here's the chip view of the 122, and that's 1, 2, and 3. And over here there's 3 leads. Over here there's one stubby one. And that's because the backside has a tab, and you solder surface mounts that way. It gives you more space. Fine. But still 1, 2, 3. You come down here to the schematic, and this is the one we're using. Pin 1 is on the left, as it says there. 1 base, 3 whatever that is, emitter, and tab is C, collector. And the collector would be this tab, but I've ohmed this tab, and they're the same. They ohm out. So I just wired it 1, 2, 3, just like that. But you got to go 1 and then 2 and 3. So 1, even though it's rotated and aimed that way, is actually the center one. Okay, but as I look at the schematic that I get for this thing, there is no 1 or 2, but he does show this lead coming out. But if you look down here, that's really pin 1. So that means I got to put my part in, and I got to wire this up to 1, this one up to 2, this one up to 3, and then that works, or it's supposed to. Well, anyway, it's melted off now. But just for grins, I have 1 coming in with a resistor, and I do. Yeah, I had it 1, 2, 3. I had it correct. I don't know what happened. Oh, I know. Maybe when I fried this wire over here, it might have come over there and fried him too. That's a possibility. This diode probably doesn't take much, but this guy, he had been smoking a couple of times on me today. Oh, here's some of the carnage. You can see it's like a fire or something. I don't know. Something happened. Oh, I better put this back where it came from. I'll be looking for that. Okay. All right. Well, that was the progress today. I want to say it's closer, but it's not. I need to get this figured out. I may have to go back to something else. I've got some other chips. I'm going to see if there's a way I can make that work to get this at least T1 going, because that has to be on when the thing's on, and hard for me to do. At any rate, and my motor control board was fine, and all of a sudden I lost reverse, so now I got 1 forward and 1. That's it. Lord knows what happened to it. And Q3 on this was screaming hot, so it's not been a very good day. And my right knee, because the way I sit apparently, my right knee is giving me all kinds of fits, and I'm already late. I got to get upstairs, so. Oh dear, I was hoping to have such more bright news, but I'm afraid at this point I'm still flogging. I'm not using my external power supply. That's a plus. I'm using my buck boost board and the smoke power coming in. It's not conditioned. I'm just using transformer, a DC output to fire this thing. Tomorrow I'm going to work on the sensors to hook up that part of it, so that's now integrated. I'll replace that 122, and I'll see if I can't make it do the normal dance. And if we can, then we'll all have a Bailey's. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might have a Bailey's anyway. Okay, gang, that's it. This is where I've been all day. Yes, well, I guess that's what I deserve, Lord. And I have all my capacitors and resistors pulled out, sorting through, looking for parts, schematics, spec sheets. Lordy, what a mess. All right, let's go. I'm fried. I am so fried. All right, I'm going to sleep tonight. Later, gang. Tomorrow is another day.